welcome the wonderful Steve Schalchlin. Give it up for Steve.
I heard of a group with others like me who felt the way I feel. I felt sorry for myself like the only man on earth, and someone said a group could help me heal. So I dropped in on a Monday where they all sat in a circle and they told each other stories of the war. Some were old and some were young, but mostly they were young, and mostly I kept looking at the floor. Dave was only 20, and he said his life was over, and he asked if this was all the life he'd get. Bill was 50, going blind, complaining of infections, which he got from tubes connected to his chest. John at 30 had some spots. He didn't like to go outside. He said his mother hated him, that he was just a prisoner, and he wished he had the guts for suicide. Carrie was a Christian and a housewife and a mother, but she hated all her so-called Christian friends, 'cause they judged her and they told her if she really loved her Jesus, he'd have healed her, 'cause the blood of Christ will cleanse. She was very disappointed in the Lord, 'cause she'd done everything from speaking in tongues to laying on of hands. She said if this was celestial retribution, and none of us stood any kind of chance. The group just listened, kind of in a trance. Maxie liked to party, and she said she'd never stop it. After all, this thing would kill no matter what. She said we looked pathetic, and that she would not stop living till they threw her in a box and slammed it shut. Then she showed us all the track marks on her arms and on her body, and invited us to join in later on. And then she staggered for a moment and fell into her chair. The group just listened, helpless but to stare. The sickest ones were scaring me, the youngest made me sad, and the ones who looked pathetic just made me feel pathetic. There was one who seemed to know a lot, and one who had no clue. There was one who spoke of vitamins, who said we needed vitamins, and as they said what they were going through, I cried, 'cause I was going through it too. Jamie was a rocker, and he wanted us to know that he was straight and that he never slept with guys. Afraid his friends would call him gay, he kept it all a secret, but the stress was buried deeply in his eyes. And he ranted, it's a goddamn enough to think I might be dying unless they judge me like I'm just some stupid queer. And then he looked around, realized who he was talking to, but the group just listened, that's why they were here. He was not the first to hate a queer. I finally took my turn and said, I guess I got it easy, 'cause all my friends and family really care. They call me and they take me out to dinner, and they tell me if I ever needed them, they'd soon be there. Suddenly it looked like they were dying in the desert, begging for some kind of comfort from the heat. And I had water. Lord, I was the only one with water. And I couldn't so alone. But how strange to be a member of a club that nobody wants to be a member of. For all the good it did, I still cannot recoup from the time I finally visited the group.
Nice. Another powerful song from Steve Schalchlin. Very nice.